We are live. Welcome in, everyone. This is Reverend Dr. Cause and Effect, Reverend Dr. Stephen J. 𝗕𝗏𝗏 coming at you from our Zoom room, where we message and simulcast live to social media and some other churches every every single Sunday at 9 a.m. That was Reverend Tanae chiming in. I don't know what's going on with that, but welcome in, everyone, wherever you're looking in from. Great to have you here with us. Again, I'm Reverend Dr. Stephen J. 𝗕𝗏𝗏, and we are in week 3 of our series taking a look at the classic work by Charles Fillmore, Unity Code founder, titled Prosperity. So we're going to dive into that after I share with you today's daily word from Unity Publishing. Let's take a deep breath and anchor into this moment and acknowledge the word cherish. Cherish. Brings back memories for me of that song, Cherish, from the 70s. Our affirmation for today is, I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. It isn't the price of something that determines its value. It is how much it is cherished. It's not how something looks or what it costs that makes it beautiful. It is the love and wonder I feel that helps me cherish it. Just like the gifts I give, I imbue my relationships with love. I cherish those for whom I care deeply, and I want them to feel cherished by me. I hold the intention for love and connection that is at the heart of my very exchange. Just as I feel cherished as a divine being, I share the love of God through my kind and considerate acts. At the heart of every kindness I extend is the prayer that those I serve will feel cherished, not only by me, but by God. And from Paul's first letter to the Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 8, so deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you have become very dear to us. And so it is, and so we let it be. Let's do that affirmation one more time. I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. I love this one because that line that says, at the heart of every kindness I extend is the prayer that those I serve will feel cherished, not only by me, but by God. As you know, we try to move around and check in on you all from time to time and support you with prayers whenever you need it. And that speaks to exactly what we strive to do. So be blessed in that affirmation. I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. All right, let's make sure everyone is muted here. We're good to go. I'm asking for a request to turn the volume up. Let me see if I can do that. I didn't record the podcast this week, so let me see where my levels are. I'm up just about now. I'm up all the way, so I can open my mouth more too. So thanks for letting me know. I won't be able to monitor all the chat while I'm talking, but I did catch that one um, before we went away here. So, all right, let's take a dive in. And I'm loving looking at this work by Charles Fillmore again. But before we dive into it, aside from the daily word, I want to share an opening prosperity prayer. So I invite you to close your outer eyes if you're comfortable doing so and it's safe to do so. Just a brief prayer. Loving, abundant Spirit, we turn now to the wellspring of truth within us. May we awaken to the divine ideas that prosper us. Open our hearts and minds to receive our inheritance.
Whatever.
Open our hearts and minds to receive our inheritance of abundance and prosperity. And Christ consciousness, we declare God is our unfailing supply. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. All right, to get started today, we're going to talk about the spiritual nature of prosperity. We're going to look at chapter 6, 7. I think we skipped around a little bit, but we're going to get it all in. We're going to just really kind of highlight, because this should really be like an 8 to 10 week class. And let me know, we can always do that too. But we're in the third week of exploring Charles Fillmore's spiritual classic, Prosperity. And today we bring to focus 3 essential elements. Let me just adjust my monitor here and turn it down so we don't have any echo. And I can also monitor some comments. Again, bear with me because I am a one-man show today. Today is traveling. And so we'll get this all set here somehow or another, one way or another, right? Doesn't want to be cooperative today. So we'll just allow that all is in divine order, and we will let it be. Okay, so 3 essential truths that we're going to talk about today, and you want to get these. Again, and I can't stress this enough. Number 1 is true wealth begins in mind. You can tell that I have been on an airplane too long. All right. True wealth begins in mind. And number 2, God has already provided prosperity for every home. And 3, through spiritual realization, even debts can be dissolved. Fillmore boldly proclaims, and I quote, "The wealth of the world is held in the invisible, waiting to be called forth by minds attuned to truth." I think I put an extra word in here there. Let me try that again. The wealth of the world is held in the invisible, waiting to be called forth minds attuned to truth. Our work today is to attune, affirm, and activate the divine abundance already established for us in spiritual law. And I like that word attune, because I'm always talking about tuning into the frequency to make sure that we're at that level where we want to be. Remember, it's be, do, have, right? So where do we want to be? We have to be attuned to this invisible source. All right, number 1, let's talk about that for a minute. Wealth of mind expresses itself in riches. So here's where true wealth begins. Wealth of mind expresses itself in riches. Charles Fillmore makes the principle clear. He says, all riches originate in the mind. That's some, all of them. Before anything can appear in form, and we talk about this all the time, those that are in the close group here, everything, whether it's a dollar bill, a home, the chair you're sitting on, the couch you're sitting on, or a successful enterprise, it begins as an idea, a mental image, a thought held in faith. It's not money, but consciousness, the consciousness of abundance that creates wealth. So the real question is not how much we have, but how much we recognize our spiritual wealth. Prosperity is not merely a condition. It is a consciousness. It is a consciousness first before all else. When you think thoughts of lack, worry, unworthiness, you push away the divine flow. But when you fill your mind with images of plenty, with images of love and beauty and right action and harmlessness and compassion, you align with the creative forces of the universe. Let's affirm this with me. The wealth of divine mind is mine now. The wealth of divine mind is mine now. I see it, feel it, and give thanks for its perfect expression. The wealth of divine mind is mine now. I see it, feel it, and give thanks for its perfect expression. This is not just positive thinking. It's a metaphysical principle. Spirit is substance. Thought shapes substance. It molds and shapes substance. Okay, therefore, wealth is not external. It's a reflection of internal realization. So I'm going to do a key takeaway here, but since I'm multitasking and Tanae isn't here, I'm putting that quote in the chat here for us so that you all hear in the Zoom room. See, folks, that's another reason to join us on Zoom, because we can't always get them all posted on Facebook. I'll do that later. So, key takeaway from point number 1. Change your thoughts and you change your experience. Develop a prosperity conscious mind, and visible riches will follow. And it's so important when I shared, when you think thoughts of lack, worry, unworthiness, you will push away the divine flow. It's so true. Don't try to eliminate. No, don't try. Just eliminate from your language words like, I can't afford that, or that's too expensive. Just pass. Just take a pass and move forward with confidence, knowing that you are shaping substance, molding, modeling, and shaping it in consciousness with the intention to move it into your world of form and your human experience. All right, number 2. This is from chapter 7. God has provided prosperity for every home. Now, in this chapter, Charles Fillmore speaks directly to the reality of family life, our homes, our households, our sacred spaces of daily living. He reminds us that God's prosperity is not reserved for the spiritual elite or the materially privileged. It is for every home, every household, yours included. There is no scarcity in the kingdom of God. What we call poverty is ignorance of the abundance all around us. That's a quote from this chapter. There is no scarcity in the kingdom of God. What we call poverty is ignorance of the abundance around us, and I would say ignorance of the law. Your home is meant to be a center of love, peace, and provision. Not a struggle, not every day, not a battle every single day. But how do we make that truth our spiritual lived reality? Well, part of it's in what we share here when we come together on Sundays, when we meet with you and talk with you. It's making that application to your lives, to your current circumstance, to your situation, and taking action. Studying this, applying it, affirming, doing your visualization. So it begins with, I would say, in consciousness, it begins in order in consciousness. Okay? Order, divine order. The home that is chaotic in mind will reflect chaos in form. Okay? If if we don't take the time to do our prayer and meditation and let our mind settle, like throwing a sheet over a bed, just imagine 1,000 sheets and they're just going around in the dryer, right? You got the window there, you're watching them go around in the dryer. A chaotic mind will reflect chaos in the outer world. But the home where faith, order, love, gratitude, accessing that secret place of the Most High, divine wisdom, when all these are practiced, the mental home will become a spiritual powerhouse for prosperity. And it all starts here. I remind you of that over and over again. Make your home, your physical home, a sacred space of divine supply. Bless it all. You want to bless every area of your home. Bless your kitchen. Affirm prosperity in your bedroom. Place a statement of truth on your mirror or mirrors. Speak words of increase over every member of your household. Even if it's just you, go to the mirror and bless you. Speak, I love you, words that shape and anoint this space. Now, even if circumstances appeared strained, the law of increase begins when we shift consciousness. As we align our thoughts with divine mind, the invisible substance begins to shape itself into visible good. It just does. I don't know how. That's none of my business. That's a God job, but it does. And we could talk all day, every day about this and the experience of this in our lives. And so can many of you that are on here with me as I look around and see. I see we have Joanna joined us in the Zoom room as well. So keep that in mind. Let's move on to, this is a good one. And no arguing. No arguing, by the way, everybody. Number 3, God will pay your debts. All right. God will pay your debts. So no, I don't stack them up and put them in the mailbox like the little kid addressed to Santa Claus, North Pole. We're talking about this. This is really good. God will pay your debts. And again, it's consciousness. This is from chapter 8. Go to the book, read chapter 8. I cannot do this marvelous work justice in these 4 short 15 to 20-minute messages on Sunday. So I would go study this, not simply read it. You know, debt is really one of the most feared words in the human experience. I despise debt now myself. No, thank you. I had plenty of it. I had my share. No thanks. But Charles Fillmore gives us a radical reframe. He says, God will pay your debts. Oh, I love this. That does not mean checks fall from heaven, though surprising good can and does appear. It means that when we elevate our consciousness, we invoke spiritual law to meet every obligation. Every obligation. You may have debts that seem overwhelming, but there is a law of justice in spirit that will balance every account. That's a quote from the book. You may have debts that seem overwhelming, but there is a law of justice in spirit that will balance every account. Fillmore is clear. Debts are not permanent. They are the outpicturing of past thinking. But you're not bound to old patterns. Through right thinking, prayer, and faith, those patterns can dissolve. Begin where you are. Refuse to empower fear. Okay? Don't look at that bill in fear. Instead, bless your creditors. Visualize your accounts paid in full. Speak the word of truth daily. Do this when you're paying your bills, when you're writing out a check, or you're clicking online to pay that power bill, that electric bill, to pay that water bill. Bless it. Thank God for the vision, for providing for me so that I may pay this bill. Affirm this truth daily. Divine substance now meets and exceeds all my obligations. I am free, prosperous, and at peace. I am going to put that in the chat real quick for the folks here on Zoom, Facebook. You all get that a little bit later. So there you go for the folks out there. All right. So your role in all this is to become a conscious steward, if you will, a conscious steward of divine resources. You have all this available to you. Money is not your source. God is. And as you accept this, new pathways of supply open. They truly do. Guidance appears. Unexpected opportunities show up. The burden lifts. Remember, you don't have to, you're not charged with figuring out the how. You're charged with getting in alignment, doing the inner house cleaning, the mental house cleaning, staying the course in consciousness, staying the path despite outer appearance. Guidance will appear. It'll drop in. You will be shown the way to go each step. Remember, God doesn't pay debts the way humans do. Spirit resolves imbalance with order, clarity, and peace. And I've experienced this too so many times in my life. Just accept this new pathway of supply being open or unfailing and all providing source of supply, God the good. So let's talk about the household as a prosperity temple. Fillmore writes that every household is a center for divine distribution. That means your home is not a holding tank for survival. It's a sacred channel for circulation. We talk about circulation all the time and the law of circulation. What if you saw your home as a temple of abundance? This is a temple of abundance. What if every dollar that came in was blessed? Every meal shared with gratitude? Every child taught the truth of infinite supply? This is not just about money. It's about cultivating a spiritual environment that resonates with divine order and joy. You're not meant to just scrape by. You are called to radiate divine prosperity through every corner of your life, beginning at home. So, how do we now apply, as talking about application and action, apply the principles in our lives? Let's take a look at that before we wrap things up here. Here's 3 steps for you to activate prosperity now. Number 1, renew your mind daily. Every day. You want to practice affirmations that root you in abundance consciousness. And I have thousands of them. And they're out there and they're available. All you have to do is Google prosperity affirmations. Eliminate, as I said earlier, I can't afford, and replace it with God is my unfailing source. I like God is my unfailing and all providing source of all good. That's my personal one. God is my unfailing and all providing source of all good. Number 2, create order in your environment, your physical environment. Clean, organize, beautify your home.
Gosh, yes.
Disorder in the outer often reflects disorder in thought.
Mm-hmm.
Bless every room in the house. You want to bless it. Create a sacred prosperity altar if you want to go that far. If you have the space to do that, you want to create a sacred prosperity altar with your affirmations or symbols of abundance that speak to you, or maybe it's around your vision board, how you envision your life, your prosperous life. So number 3 is then take inspired financial action. I mean, be a wise steward right? Be a wise steward of what does come in. You want to track your income, release unneeded expenses, follow divine ideas with courage, and listen in meditation for intuitive steps and take them without fear. Just listen for that guidance. When we open, when we believe we will receive wisdom, inspiration, and guidance, we will. But it's so important to take action when we get those intuitive steps to take and take them without fear. So I want to share with you before I'm going to do a closing here and another prosperity meditation. But one thing that I love to do, and really, because I was in so much debt and just starting ministerial school, and I knew I had to get this prosperity thing down. I really wanted it. That's one of the reasons that was one of my whys. I really got to grasp this, learn to teach what you really need in your life, right? So I did this visualization, if you all will. Imagine like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or a Costco or Sam's Club. And it's just racks and racks and racks. You go in, the doors open on the one side, like at Winn-Dixie, right? You go in there and there's a row, it's infinite, as far as you can possibly see, just racks. Up as high as you can, you have no idea where it ends. The racks are high. There's this automated high-low moving about. And to your right, to your left, up, back, everywhere, there's just racks and racks and racks. And it's stacked with cases. So they're all wrapped up nicely, like if you're getting a 24 pack of like Coca-Cola at a wholesaler or something. They're all shrink wrapped, but there's not Coca-Cola in there. It's rolls of $1 million. Each like where a can would be is $1 million. So each case is $24 million. And it's amazing. So you can get one of those racks like you do if you're getting lumber at Home Depot. So you can push your own rack in. This is my visualization, and take these cases off the shelf and put them on your rack. And I would do that. And it was amazing because as soon as you take one case off the shelf, every rack, as high as you can go, as far as you're looking around, everywhere you can see these racks, there's the only thing in this store is cases of $24 million. And as soon as you take one off the shelf, it all moved forward automatically. So I'd take one off the rack, it would move forward automatically, take another one, fill up my rack, and head to the door with it. This is great. This is my abundance place. When I need physical money, it's all here. I just have to take action and go and receive it, right? But then I got to the door and starting to go to my car, and I say, I got to lift these all in, put them in my car. I don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. This place is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the supply is always there. When I took one off the shelf, everything else pushed, there's more. You just have to open to receive it. So I didn't have to take all this. It's just something simple that as I was preparing this, I was reminded of all this. So I thought maybe you'd get a kick out of that, or that's something that you can visualize. That just helped me to move from a scarcity consciousness, a lack consciousness, to an abundance consciousness. So just know that this is your closing invitation here. Your supply is unlimited. My friends here and all those looking in, I mean, this is so important to make that transformation, because I've experienced this. God is not rationing out prosperity. It's not some for you. Look, you don't get any. Okay, here's a little bit. No, it's not rationed out. The storehouse of good is infinite. All that is required is your awakened, accepting mind. You are here to live in abundance consciousness, to radiate spiritual riches, and to bring that consciousness to every area of your life, your finances, your family, your faith. Prosperity is not a reward. It is a divine reality waiting to be claimed. So we got another affirmation here, and then we're going to go into a little brief meditation to firm all this up in consciousness. But I invite you to not just walk away from today's talk, to take these and apply them and sit with them a bit, to do these affirmations and search for more that really resonate with you. So here's our final affirmation for this piece this Sunday. I just put it in the chat for those of you on Zoom. The wealth of God's mind is expressing through me. My home is richly supplied. Every obligation is met with grace. I live in divine abundance now. The wealth of God's mind is expressing through me. My home is richly supplied. Every obligation is met with grace. I live in divine abundance now. And so it is, and so we let it be. So I'm going to put on a little background music here. And I invite you to close your outer eyes if it's comfortable and safe to do so. And we're going to just relax into this eternal moment of right now, taking a deep breath, settling into our space, acknowledging the holy, sacred presence of God as our good, as our unfailing and all-providing presence of all we could ever want or need. So let's take another deep breath. And as you exhale, just let go of every thought of lack or pressure. Just let it go. Breathe it out and release it. Every thought of lack, pressure, or feelings of limitation. In your mind's eye, picture yourself entering your home. Each room is filled with light, order, beauty, and peace. You feel safe, supported, and divinely provided for. Now step into a room filled with golden light. This is your inner treasury, the wealth of divine mind. Feel the ideas of abundance, success, and divine provision filling your thoughts. Repeat silently. My mind is filled with divine ideas. My home is richly blessed. My obligations are met with divine ease. God is my unfailing source. Let's breathe that in. Put it all together here. My mind is filled with divine ideas. My home is richly blessed. My obligations are met with divine ease. God is my unfailing source. Breathe in the peace of divine sufficiency. know it is there, and rest here for a moment. Divine sufficiency, all my needs are met now. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes, but feel very, very grateful. Gratitude is so important. Open your eyes feeling grateful, aligned, and prosperous. I'm going to put that last affirmation in the chat while you're coming back to this time and place right now. And as you come back with me here on Zoom, we want to say to those of you looking in on social media at other ministries and those of our friends on YouTube, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Don't forget to come on back next week, same time, same place, as we wrap up Prosperity by Charles Fillmore. This is Reverend Dr. Stephen J. 𝗕𝗏𝗄 with the traveling Reverend 𝗕𝗃𝗄𝗍𝗍 saying see you next time. God bless you.